Thank you so much for joining us. It's great to have you.
Thank you,
Congrats
Emily.
on 10 years.
Great to be here.
So we'll start with an open question. How is spending on the network doing so far this quarter? That's a sign of, how healthy the consumer is right now. Talk to us about this year, and then we'll broaden it out to 10.
Sure. We talked to people a couple of months ago about how things are going. It's a strong global economy. The global consumer is doing very well. It's sort of a synchronized global recovery that is going on around the world, and there's very few soft spots. So it's all good. It's a great environment.
So you're celebrating 10 years as a public company. What's been the biggest change in the public life of Visa?
Well, as you know, it was a bank-owned association, so it required quite a bit of change to go from being a bank-owned association to be a for-profit public company. There's been considerable change over the years. It's been a great 10 years. Shareholders have done very well. Stock is up substantially. Shareholder value is up 8 times. The volumes and transactions we process have tripled over the 10 years. The number of cards people have with the Visa brand on them is now doubled. The number of places you can use your Visa card is up 1.5 times. The company has been changed substantially culturally to be a much more commercial enterprise. It's a technology-based enterprise. So it's a vastly different company from where it was before, and at a very exciting time. We're at an inflection point with huge growth ahead of us.
So talk to us about the challenges and the opportunities and how you sustain momentum over the next 10 years.
As I said, we are at an inflection point, and we've had 2 or 3 of these in the 60-year history of Visa. And the reason we're at an inflection point is because of what's going on around us. The growth of e-commerce is an incredible driver of our business. Anytime a transaction goes from being face-to-face to being online, we see twice the propensity to use a card because cash is not an option. The proliferation of smart devices. Every smart device is a way to pay or a way to be paid. Mobile networks, as you know, with things like dongles, if you have a smart device, you can accept a Visa card. QR codes, you can just print a QR code and you're in business. All that's done is made it much easier to digitize cash, and these inflection points have led to a 10x increase over a 10 or 20-year period in the past in the amount of transactions we have in terms of the ways to pay and the ways to be paid. So we're at a very exciting time in the history of Visa.
That's the opportunity. What's the challenge? What are the hurdles you'll have to navigate over the next decade?
Well, the challenges are what you always have when you have a wonderful business. Everybody would like to be part of it. And 20 years ago, there was only one way to get on our network, which is you go to a store, you swipe your card, you're on our network. Today, our network is open. Every day, there's a new way to pay and be paid, and there are new use cases. There are fintechs, as you know, who are all finding ways to transact in different ways, and what we're doing is making it easy for them, frictionless for them, and economical for them to be on our network. And of course, others are trying to do the same thing. So obviously the challenges are, how do we make sure that our network remains, as it has always been, the one that goes to most places, the one that's most secure, this is money after all, the one that's most reliable, and of course, one that can do this job better and cheaper and more cost effectively than any other option.
You mentioned how important e-commerce is. Amazon is reportedly working on a checking account-like product and working directly with a bank, which would cut down on the fees that they pay companies like Visa. What do you make of this trend to essentially cut Visa out?
Well, that's not necessarily the case. Amazon's a fabulous company. Amazon is a very innovative company. Amazon is a very important partner of ours. We work very closely with them. We have a co-brand card that delivers a lot of value to our cardholders. These new plans, clearly we'll wait and see what happens, but it isn't entirely the case that we wouldn't be part of those plans. It's very early days, and there's not a whole lot that we can say about it because we're all finding out what Amazon wants to do. But as always, we stay very close to the innovative companies in this arena, and we'll be very close to whatever Amazon wants to do and help them in any way we can.
Have you talked to Amazon about this particular
we're
product?
always talking to Amazon. I can't obviously comment on things that are very specific things, but we have a very close relationship with Amazon. We do a lot of things with them. We clearly want to be part of any new initiatives that Amazon has that we can help them with. So we'll wait and see what happens here.
It would give Amazon a deeper hook into data on the consumer, the financial life life of a consumer. You guys monetize a lot of that data by selling it to retailers and advertisers. Is it getting easier or harder to monetize that data?
Well, our business is not so much today about monetizing data. Our business is about enabling and processing payments. Yes, in the process of doing that, we do collect data, and that data we use for a variety of things. Most importantly, for what we call our risk services. We use that data to reduce fraud in our network. We use that data to make our system better, in other words, to cut down on denials of transactions. We have some use of the data for advertising and other solutions, and we'll continue to move in that direction. But other than that, the network in general is where the value is created.
You told the Financial Times that cryptocurrencies are in a bubble, and mentioned that it's a favored tool of criminals. Do you have any concern that some of your customers, or especially young customers, might turn their backs on Visa if you don't support cryptocurrency like other payments companies, Square, for example?
Well, cryptocurrencies are in their early days. This is relatively new. For something to be a currency, it has to be a store of value or a medium of exchange. And we process currencies, 120 currencies today. We process any currency that a merchant is willing to accept and a bank is willing to accept. We'll wait and see how cryptocurrencies evolve. There's a fair amount of volatility today, which makes it hard for us, for people to really figure out what the value is. And as time goes by, we'll learn what cryptocurrencies can be used for. In the meantime, we're very excited about blockchain technology. We have been working with it for quite a while. We have partners we work with it on. We have a product we're piloting that uses distributed ledger technology. Blockchain, we think, is a potentially very valuable technology. Clearly, you can't use it today at a merchant or an e-commerce site because it's not fast enough and has very high energy needs and so on. But there's a variety of other applications where blockchain works very well. So we'll see how this all plays out over the next few years.
Why do you think cryptocurrencies are in a bubble?
Whether things are in a bubble or not is always hard to determine, and you only find out after the fact. Early use cases of cryptocurrencies are often not always the use cases that, as you know from technologies, you never know what the real use cases are going to be over time. And we'll find out over time, what the real value is of various cryptocurrencies.
Chinese tech giants like Alipay and WeChat are making their way into the U.S. via partnerships with U.S. Companies. Does that concern you at all?
Oh, of course, we are as paranoid as we should be. At the same time, we're very well prepared. The situation in China is very unique. We are not operating in China today. Alipay and WeChat started out in China in a very unique environment, backed by Alibaba in one case and the big WeChat application in the other. The situation they face outside China is quite a bit different. The regulatory environment is different. They don't have the same Alibaba and WeChat applications backing them up. We can do all the things they do outside China. We can operate with QR codes. We can operate on mobile devices. So we are prepared. In some cases, these may be partnerships. In some cases, they may be competitive. I would say we are appropriately paranoid and very well prepared.
You were pushing contactless cards at the Olympics. You were a huge marketer at the Olympics this year. They haven't really taken off in the United States. What makes you think that they will?
Oh, they will. The U.S. has been, behind some of the other countries. UK and Australia, and if you were at the Olympics, it's an extraordinary experience to use a contactless card. I have my own Visa contactless card, and this little...
Wow, you have it in your pocket.
Yeah,
ready
this little
to
thing
share.
here, you just tap it. It's better than using your phone, in fact. It's a better user experience. And the reason it's taking off in the US and will soon is that the banks have realized that contactless technology can really speed up transactions, which means you get smaller transactions. Merchants love contactless because it speeds up lines. I think you'll see banks issue more and more cards like the one I just showed you that has a chip enabled for contactless. And you will see merchants turn on EMV, which is enabling technology, to accept contactless. So this is all going to happen in the US fairly fast, and you'll be able to use it in many more places in the US.
Looking ahead to the future, studies are showing that younger consumers, millennials, are skeptical of credit cards. They are using alternative payment systems. Are you seeing any impact on Visa? And do you see fewer transactions from younger consumers in the future?
Oh, not at all. In fact, one of the things that Visa does really well with, the Visa brand is one of the most powerful brands in the world, and Visa brand is extremely strong among millennials. And frankly, we're enabling all these different ways in which people want to pay. So we don't think about this as a card anymore. We talk about it as a payment credential. We have something called tokenization technology that digitizes the card and essentially embeds it in any device you want. And so we are enabling Square Cash, we're enabling Facebook Messenger, we're enabling Zelle, we're enabling all these new ways, and you can use Visa credentials on Venmo. So we're enabling all the ways in which young people and millennials want to pay. That's our job. Our job is to make whatever the way you want to pay easy to do on our rails.